All right, guys, well, I'm back today with a very interesting and very impressive complete mini M4 railed upper assembly from Palmetto State Armory. And if you follow the channel, you'll know I've been purchasing and reviewing as well as getting T&E models sent out to the channel for years now from PSA. Want to give a huge shout out to these guys for sending this out at my request. As soon as I saw it, I knew I wanted to give one a try, so these guys were nice enough to send one out. We're going to be talking about the specs and features of this upper, its performance down at the range, and why you may want something like this added to your collection. Now, I also want to give a huge shout out to AAC Ammo for sponsoring the ammo to help make this video. Not only did we run their standard 55 grain and 62 grain 5.56, we also ran some of their Sabre black tip 62 grain and 77 grain OTM just to see the performance with a wide variety of rounds, and they all did great, not only out of this upper, but everything I've run them through. But let's dig back into the review. We're going to start from the front and work our way to the back, but before that, I just want to talk about the basic specs and features real quick. The MSRP is right around $5, which puts it into the very affordable category of what I would consider a more premium option from PSA over some of their standard lineup. It gives you a lot of really nice features, which we're going to talk about at that price point, with some updates and upgrades over some other standard PSA 10.5-inch uppers, but at a very reasonable price. Now, this one in particular is called the Sabre Forged 10.5-inch 5.56 chambered nitride front sight block model with the 10-inch two-piece quad rail system. And I love the way the quad rail system envelops the front sight post, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. But let's start at the front and work our way to the back. Now, what you're seeing is a Griffin Armament gate lock muzzle device. These come with the 3-prong flash hider, which does an amazing job. And because those prongs are at different lengths, it actually doesn't ping when you shoot or flick it, which is a nice touch that PSA has done with that flash hider. Now, under that flash hider is 1/2x28 threads, so whatever muzzle device you want to put on there, you can. And we'll talk a little bit more about the gate lock system, the gate lock Griffin Armament suppressor at the functionality part of this review. Now, that barrel itself is pretty slick. It's a 10.5-inch 5.56 barrel with a nitride coating. The barrel steel is going to be 4150 chromoly vanadium, so a really good barrel seal, and it's going to have the 1-in-7 twist. It also is going to feature the M4 barrel extensions, so it's going to be a good solid barrel with a nice anti-corrosion resistance nitride coating. So overall, no real recommendations there. It's absolutely great. If you feel like you need something that just more robust, just a little bit more robust than this, they actually feature cold hammer forged or cheap versions of this barrel on this exact same upper, but you are going to pay a little bit more for that. But for everything I'm going to be doing with this upper, this barrel is fine, but it is nice to know there's different options, and that's what PSA does really well. Now, surrounding that barrel system is going to be the gas system and the quad rail. Let's start off with the gas system. And if it's not obvious, this is a fixed front sight post. And I really love what they've done with this guy. They've actually incorporated that front sight block with a carbine length gas system on this 10.5-inch upper assembly. So it's going to be pinned into place, rock solid, not going anywhere. And then it's going to be surrounded by this two-piece quad rail, which locks up rock solid to the barrel nut itself, rather than just kind of clipping in like other quad rail systems. Now, that gives you the advantage of having a rock solid platform, and you can see there's absolutely no wiggle or play in this system, allowing you to mount whatever you want and mount it up true, secure, and solid. Now, all NFA rules apply, and what you saw, this was on a short barreled rifle lower assembly. So with that, you can mount your vertical grips and things like that, or you can put this on a pistol lower depending on what you're doing and add whatever hand stops you want. If you're doing laser aiming modules or lights or things like that, they're going to be locked up rock solid on this rail system. And not only is it rock solid, it just looks cool. The way a quad rail looks, especially on like a mini M4 setup like that, and especially the way it envelops that front sight post, you can see right there, it kind of hovers right around it. I don't believe it's actually making contact. It just kind of surrounds that in and bolts into place right there. It looks absolutely awesome. Now, it also has anti-rotation tabs connecting to that upper receiver itself, and it lines up perfectly, and the fit and finish is spectacular on this rail system. Now, moving along to the upper itself, standard forward assist, standard dust cover, and everything works well there, but you start seeing some updates and upgrades when you talk about things like the charging handle. Now, the Sabre lineup all uses the Radian Raptor LT charging handles, and this is one of my favorites by far that PSA has done with the Sabre lineup when it comes to little add-ons. That is just one of my favorite charging handles out of all of the ones I've used. I really haven't met anybody who doesn't like them, but you may be that guy. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Now, the BCG, or the bolt carrier group, is like the heart of a rifle. If it's not beating, your rifle's not functioning. And this one features a PSA Custom Fathers of Freedom BCG by Microbest with the Springco extractor spring. Now, the bolt steel is going to be Carpenter 158, and the finish is going to be that mag phosphate finish. So it's going to be a very nice BCG with some enhanced components over the standard mil spec that's going to allow it to run better. And it does. It runs good. So let's talk about it. This was gassed very nicely, and on the lower, or the few lowers that I've had at all, it functioned great. We also ran that new Griffin Armament gate lock suppressor that we had out to the channel on this setup, and it functioned amazing down at the range. No issues running this suppressed or unsuppressed, no feed or function issues, and that AAC ammo ran great no matter what flavor we tried. It just kept cycling. I believe this is a rock-solid, reliable build that gives you an interesting look, but very practical and functional down at the range. I love having something with iron sights, and it's super easy to add a red dot on here if you wanted to, and really co-witness the iron sights with the red dot to give you that almost rock-solid backup set of sights incorporated and co-witnessed with your red dot. It's just a really nice rock-solid feel. Again, this was fun. I loved it. I think you will too. Check the description for more info, and a huge shout out to PSA for sending this out and AAC for sponsoring the ammo. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.